having me.
Yeah.
I love your guys' show. Keep it up. I'm sure all the MLW guys, obviously, they love it. They're following you on Instagram now, and
Yeah.
we'll keep promoting you too.
Oh, that's
Sure.
great.
Excellent.
You know what I don't do enough of? Hey, everybody, like and subscribe. That's something. Hey, welcome back to Fade the Mahoney. We're going to do a recap show today. To the victors go the spoils. And in the last series that we watched, who are the victors?
Us.
Very good. Good answer, Drew. The Cobras. What are the spoils? The spoils, you get to come back on Fade the Mahoney for a recap show. So we're joined by Brendan Baranowski, known as the Red Baron. And I hope I'm pointing the right way. Probably not. Let's go this way. Drew Davis. We're going to talk everything about the series. Congratulations on the win, guys.
Thanks.
Trevor, should we recap gambling first and then get into it?
Let's do that.
Gambling. I took the over. That wasn't very close. So
Nope.
Congratulations on that one. Brendan, you pitched way too well. You didn't give. Drew, as you may have heard, I was really hoping you would pitch a couple innings and then I would have won easily.
Yeah, I went up north this weekend. I pitched a little bit there and still couldn't throw a strike. So
Yeah, that's what I was counting on. We both agreed that the number was too high for the Wildcats. So Trevor and I, had we bet, we were on the same side, so we didn't bet on that. But then as far as the ladder goes, I had the commissioner, Trevor had the Red Baron, and I won.
I want to recount because that's ridiculous.
Yeah, Trevor and I sent him a tally with our numbers.
that don't make no sense.
Yeah, we all agree. We all agree.
Sense.
I sent the tally after the series was over because obviously he swept me, and then we saw the ladder come out from MLW stats, and Brendan, you came in third.
Yeah, I honestly thought I was kind of low on points there. I thought I would have beat Kyle at least.
Yep, we all thought that. You should probably start batting.
I got some last game.
I'm sure we'll get into that a little bit more.
Yeah. You told me you could hit, so I just assume your manager would let you hit at some point.
He did. He let me hit for the third game.
Yeah. What about I remember being on the Cobras big time before the series. That was right in the preview. I was all over the Cobras, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, you made the line. You made the line, whatever it was, 145 minus 145, and you said you knew it was too high, but you got to balance the books, and I agreed. I thought it was too high.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We like the Cobras.
Yep. Nice. All right.
That's the gambling. You want to get into some questions, Trevor? Lay it on them.
Let's do it. All right. Well, first of all, I think you guys could tell from the video. I think all the fans could tell from the video that it was an intense video. They were intense games. Was it like that at the field for you guys that day?
Very.
Lots of intensity, a lot of
Yeah.
it felt like a playoff game, right?
My family showed up for the first time. My family in 7 years has never seen me play wiffle ball. And I knew my aunt was coming, and then like my entire extended family rolled up into the meadows and was watching. So it was pretty intense.
Feel the same way for you, Baron, pitching?
Yeah. All the games were close, and I think we both knew whoever won this series kind of was locking up a playoff spot too. So I think that's what added to the intensity, especially in that game 3, because that one was so tight to the end.
Yeah, for sure. So all right, let's get into some of the games in particular and some of the question marks around the players. So one of the big talking points I think you'll see from a lot of people is Andy's struggles in this series. He's 0 for 7 to play with 7 strikes, had some tough plays in the field and everything. But on the opposite side of that, his speed and his base running, got those 2 runs in that first game. So what do you guys think that he needs to do a little bit differently? Obviously, like career-wise, he's a very good hitter. So is it just a slump he's in, or is there anything that you guys are saying that he needs to do differently?
Want me to answer this?
Yes, manager,
Sure, go ahead, Drew.
Okay. Yeah. Andy has a very unconventional approach at hitting. I went back and looked at some of the videos of him hitting from years prior when he was hitting a little bit better. And I think like it looks like his swing was a little bit different. And so last series against the Wildcats, I actually like, went up to him and we were discussing like some things he could try and do differently. I think like what he's trying to do though is like, this is just my point of view. I mean, I don't know if this is what he's actually trying to do, but he's got really quick hands and stuff like that. He's just one of the most athletic people I've ever met. And so I think sometimes he tries to rely on being quick too much. Another example of that is like, we can pretty much all read pitches once we get to second base, or at least I can read what the pitcher's throwing. So I usually try to relay that to the hitter on what the pitcher's going to throw. And Andy said that he didn't want me to tell him because he just he thinks he does better when he reacts to it, which I get. Sometimes even when I'm up to the plate, sometimes I would rather just react. So I think sometimes he's just trying to be too quick, and he does have a big uppercut swing. I think his timing could be a little bit better. Like I think sometimes he is a little bit late, but yeah, I mean, baseball, just like he's been out of baseball for a while. Football is kind of his main focus. So like, I don't fault him at all. But that's just one of the reasons why we took him out of the lineup for game 3 and changed some things around, because we wanted to see what some other people could do.
I was doing some advanced analytics for Durant. He's struck out 81% of his appearances at the plate so far this year.
Yeah, it's a lot.
It's not good.
No.
Yeah, you got to put the ball in play. Even our guy here, the Red Baron, you didn't have any hits, but your last at bat, you made contact with the ball, and you made whoever it was, Saylor, you made him work so that whoever it was got the third.
Yeah.
I will say this in regards to Brendan, who's here. So I guess I can let him know. I think we've talked about this before. What?
I was just pointing to Brendan.
Oh, the tricky thing about our league is that there is base running. And so, like you said, like he doesn't strike out nearly as much as Andy, but we do have people that are a little bit faster than Brendan. I think Baron would be the first one to tell you that he's not as fast, especially our team has a lot of speed on it. I think our team probably has the most speed of any team in the league. And so, especially on ground balls and stuff like that, when you're not able to beat them out, it's going to decrease your likelihood of getting on base. So that's one of the things that I've looked at as a manager, is that I recognize that Brendan like hits the ball a lot. And that's one of the reasons why we put him in game 3 against the Wildcats, because I know he doesn't necessarily strike out a lot, but it's the turning the ground balls into base hits that I think is the struggle. And that's just, him being an absolute tank. And not having some of the speed that maybe me and Andy or Sawyer have. So
Incredibly nimble coming off the mound, though.
no, very nimble though, very quick. I was impressed.
Definitely.
It was even more impressive on camera, like looking back.
Yeah, those plays were awesome. We'll get to those shortly. So question for Brennan. That first game, obviously very intense. The last at bat of the first game versus Jackson, your strikeout pitch there, I think it looked like a slider. It didn't look like a pitch that you normally throw that often. At least, obviously, we're only seeing the last pitch. What was your thought in throwing that pitch there? And like you previously struck him out in the drop ball, the at bat before. Was that what was the thought on that pitch? I guess.
So I think it was that at bat in that inning. I did not have a warning yet. So I think I was trying to rev up slider or riser, because usually those are the ones that I'm most consistent with. So if I'm going to go over the speed limit a couple miles per hour, I'd rather throw one that I feel can hit the zone. So I probably went slider for that reason. And also they were hitting everything before then too. So it might have been that game where I threw the riser to strike out Saylor earlier in the inning. And it worked out because I just hadn't been throwing many risers. So I hadn't been throwing many sliders either. So I was hoping it would throw him off guard as well.
Yeah, it definitely did. It seemed like he wasn't expecting that pitch. And it was the perfect pitch in that situation, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Final score to that first game was 3-2. Is that correct?
2-1.
2-1.
2-1. So that was your bad game, Brendan?
Yeah, that was my bad game.
That second game, so we started out that second game with the chaotic play with Kyle on the base pass. I want to get your guys' take on that play.
He's out.
Whether you thought yeah, okay.
No, he was out.
I thought he was out too.
Every
Which
single
time?
every single one of my family members that said he was out at home. It was
Yeah.
they said it wasn't even close.
I think even the video shows he was out.
Yeah, I thought so too. It was an interesting ruling. I guess, but Tommy said confirmed though, right?
Yeah.
Which would
He said confirmed on the one at third, and then he said stands at home.
Yeah.
oh, okay,
That's
okay,
right.
yeah.
So
Because there was
Uh,
only the one good angle at home, right? And you
yeah, and
couldn't.
they said they couldn't check the GoPro. They didn't have time, so they had to forgo that. So they could only check the home plate camera and then the second camera. So, and they said that there was something in the way blocking the view. So yeah, I don't know. We thought he was out. I thought he was out by a mile. I didn't think it was really that close.
You guys
Yeah.
were off the field. You were so confident he was out.
Yeah, I mean it's happened to us before, so it's not a big surprise.
Always jobbing the Cobras. Messed up.
Correct. Facts.
All right. So how about talking about a little bit about Sawyer's pitching? He obviously had a little bit of rough first, and that play that kind of set the tone for that inning also too, which is tough. But to me, it seemed like, again, obviously only seeing the last pitch of each at bat, it seemed like he had a lot more pitches in his arsenal than he had shown previously. And he didn't even really seem to be throwing the drop that much, at least on
It wasn't working at all.
Is that what it was? It wasn't working.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think I even told him. I said at one point, I said, "You got to find something different. The drop isn't working at all right now." And he was kind of like circling through his routine, his arsenal, which I've done before. I've been there where you're just trying. When you can't throw a strike, sometimes when you're just trying to throw a strike and you get desperate, you start throwing everything in the book just to see if something will work, and that kind of like makes it even tougher because then you're trying to adjust for every single pitch versus just finding one pitch and trying to hone it in. And so I told him, I go, just find one pitch that you're comfortable with and just throw that until you can throw a strike. Because his drop wasn't controlled and it wasn't dropping like it normally does. I mean, that was it was game 2 ball. So
Yeah.
it should be called game 2 ball syndrome or something.
Yeah.
It's a thing.
Brendan, do you talk to him at all about pitching a little bit? Like, I know, you've been around a little bit and he's obviously a younger kid, but do you guys talk about your pitches and your approach at all together as a staff?
Yeah, before he went out, I was kind of talking to him what was working, what pitches the Wildcats were chasing, but mainly, as you saw, it was the drop ball that I was going with for the strikeout pitch, and just from that not working very well for him at the start, kind of took away what I told him. So then he kind of had to go off on his own and start hitting with other pitches. So I try to like tell him after game 1, like, this guy's chasing this pitch. They like it high here with this one or something like that.
I mean, you guys have to feel pretty good though overall. Even obviously he gave up the 3 runs in the first inning, but for him to respond like that in the other 2 innings against a really good hitting team, you got to feel pretty confident moving forward with Sawyer.
Yeah, we feel pretty confident. Definitely, like, it sucks the way the first inning worked out. Kind of unfortunate, but yeah, he's looking really good, especially with his drop ball when it's on. It's on. So yeah, it's just kind of about throwing him in there now and letting him get innings and just kind of get the experience so that come playoff time he's ready. Playoff time usage might be different with him, just with maybe we'll try to limit him to only going 2 innings. Maybe we'll let him ride the full 3. Who knows?
Yeah,
That'll be up for discussion when the time comes.
Right.
Yeah, he's been doing better with every start this year, and there's going to be a point where he'll get over the hump. He just needs 3 clean innings, and he's just getting those couple mistake pitches that are hurting him. But he'll learn, and he's getting better every series. So it's good to see the progression.
Definitely.
Is he the only one? Sorry to jump ahead to game 3. Is he the only one who actually hit the ball in game 3? Wasn't that him who hit the rocket? What?
I had a hit. I hit the game winning. I had the RBI.
Yeah, come on.
Yeah, did you like hit it? I'm saying he like hit the ball like it was going to be a
On
home run,
base.
right?
Yeah. I mean, I guess
he
you're
was
going that way.
He
Yeah,
was the
Yeah.
only one to hit it past the pitcher.
right. You guys were putting on a bunting clinic for the entire
Hey,
game, and Sawyer hit what would have been a home run, but it was a great play.
I'm a coach's son. Small ball runs through my blood.
Mhm.
There you go. Well, we're still on game two.
I'm sorry.
Here's a question that everybody always wants to find the answer to, which nobody seems to find the answer to, which is why is Nick Saylor so hard to hit?
It's just the guy, like, it's same thing as Trevor Bonham. Like, it's the exact same situation. Like, they throw the same pitch every single time, and you just can't. You try to play hero ball, you try to hit it out, and then you just swinging, putting bad swings on it. I mean, I kind of changed my swing in the All-Star game. You'll see it in my last at bat, the All-Star game. I changed my whole approach, my stance, my swing, everything. It's like a complete 180. It looks completely different. I think you'll also see it in the home run derby too. So you only have to wait until Friday to see it. But I think it's going to help for pitches like that. But yeah, when you're just facing risers, it's hard because it's just so deceiving to the mind. Like, you're literally this much under it. But like, if it didn't rise, you'd be piping it over the fence every single time. But because it rises at the last second, it just deceives you.
And then the location, obviously, his location is very good overall, right? He doesn't throw a lot.
Yeah, and he was mixing in a drop ball. Like, he threw that nasty knuckleball to me. But I mean, Brendan, you got to hit against him in game 3.
Yeah, he's like is a very like low energy pitcher, so he looks so casual while he's throwing, and then he's just got a ton of movement on his pitches. Like, his risers were all under because it's moving more than we assume it is, but he looks so casual while throwing. Like, you think, oh, I should be able to hit this, and he's perfectly placing it where he wants to every time and throwing a ton of strikes.
No one also has confirmed that he's actually a human yet, right? Either. So that's the other thing, is that he might just be a robot that's programmed to throw.
Possible.
Right. So
I'm going to jump in with my quick commercial for jerseys. The Drew Davis jersey you can purchase at the merch store. And then new edition right here, Nick Saylor. I got it. We were supposed to talk to Nick. We're going to talk to him down the road. But since we're doing the recap, I thought I'd put it on there. Go buy jerseys. Don't buy Brendan's jersey because it's not available.
You can make one on Moxie.
yeah.
Oh, is that an availability?
Yeah.
Who was it that told me I couldn't do that?
They're
Was that
liars.
Dallas? Was that Dallas?
They don't have names on the back of theirs. So
Yeah.
So that saved me $80.
Yeah, basically.
Hey, mine's got names on the back of mine.
All
Hey,
right.
size down. If you're ever gonna get one, size down.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Because this is mine's a large, and it like goes like past my thighs.
All right. I probably won't wear it, but I appreciate the heads up.
At least that was my experience with it. They're really long.
Are you guys wearing those for the rest of the year or what?
I don't know. I low key wanted to wear our red OG jerseys against the Wildcats, but Sawyer texted in the group chat within 2 seconds of me saying, "What are we gonna wear?" to wear the Triton jerseys, and then everyone emphasized it, so we went with that. And I don't really want to wear the red ones against the Preds because it's kind of a big series, even though that makes me kind of want to wear the Reds more too at the same time. So I don't know.
These are the tough decisions you got to make as the manager.
True. And these are just more comfortable. Like, they're not shirts. Like, my shirts get so like sweaty and wet. Like, I always used to bring 2 jerseys because I would get so sweaty.
You're a good hitter, Drew.
Huh?
I'm just going to say it. You're a good hitter.
Oh, thanks.
You're welcome.
All right, game three. Okay, so you talked a little bit about the lineup change thoughts that you had with Andy, taking Andy out. Was it, I guess, just you wanted to see what Sawyer and Brendan could do? Did you want to stick with 3-man lineup? You didn't want to keep Sean in? What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of really against the 4-man lineup. Like, we've done it in the past for years, and it just like, if the game was more than 3 innings, it might make sense. But like, when you're limited to X amount of at bats, like, you want to get your best hitters the most at bats as possible. So I think that's why we do it, because like, if you have a 3-person lineup and someone gets on base, that means the first person that was up is automatically going to get another at bat, and hopefully that's your leadoff hitter. Barron, was a little interesting conversation for game 3 because we were trying to figure out how the DH rule worked. I forget exactly what the conversation went like, but you can only DH for the pitcher, we found out. And I think we were trying to put Andy in the field and then have I think we were going to have Brandon hit no matter what, but we wanted to put Andy in the field and DH Sawyer for Andy, but they said you can only use the DH for the pitcher. So Sawyer went in the field, and then Brendan was pitching, and then I was, in right. And then for the lineup, I know Sawyer makes a ton of contact, so that's why I put him in second. Because even though he doesn't have that many hits this year, but he doesn't have that many strikeouts either. Like, he makes a ton of contact. So I put him right behind me just in case like I were to get on, he could hit me over. And then like Brendan also makes contact. So we were just trying to just generate runs any way we could. Maybe me get on first and then have those two just hit me around.
Yeah, I mean, that's basically what ended up happening, right? I mean, that's how the game ended up playing out.
That's kind of a role that Andy's going to play in the future. That's going to be kind of big. Is he's probably not going to be in the lineup really that much anymore, but he'll be kind of a pinch hitter, pinch runner situation. So if it gets to the third inning and we get someone on first, like, we're just going to sub him in. I mean, unless it's like one of our best hitters or they're on fire, we'll probably just sub Andy in. Same with kind of Sean and Brendan. Brendan and Sean are going to kind of rotate. I already talked to them about it. They're going to kind of rotate hitting. Like, for right now, the only two automatic spots in the lineup are me and Sawyer. So Brendan and Sean are going to be kind of a toss up on who's playing, on who's hitting better. So
I guess you just handled my question, because I was gonna talk about how you mentioned in Discord about how you had a better idea of how the lineup was going to look moving forward, and I guess you basically just answered it right there, right?
Yeah, after I said that, I kind of wish I didn't, because now I got no idea, because I know who the three hitters are going to be, but I'm kind of lost on like where they're going to hit, because like I said, Sawyer gets a lot of contact, so I kind of want him to hit leadoff, but I also kind of want him to bat behind other hitters so that he can hit them around. But I also know Sawyer doesn't like hitting third. So I'm kind of in a weird position here. Yeah.
Okay.
So I have no idea who's going to bat leadoff next game. No clue.
Makes sense.
I vote Brendan.
Maybe, yeah, maybe we'll be a spark.
It'll be like when Anthony Rizzo was batting leadoff.
Yeah, just a spark. Get going. I
Yeah,
mean, you did hit a homer off Crouch last time.
That is true.
Yeah.
Like Ryan.
Let's go. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of my thoughts on that game 3, where that you guys just kept putting the ball in play, and then you had that the last at bat, Drew, where you hit the ball in the middle to Saylor and you missed the peg with your matrix-like movement, avoiding the ball. What were your thoughts there? Like, when you know you hit a ball like that and you know a peg is coming, what are your thoughts usually in the moment?
Okay. Well, I want to try and sound humble when I say this, but
No,
I have a lot of confidence when I hit the ball back to the pitcher, just because I've had a lot of success in the past few years, like getting to first and dodging things like that. So, when I did it, I kind of turned around and I was kind of looking at him the whole time, and it's kind of just reactionary. Usually I try to go for some sort of dive, just to get under the ball and hopefully they throw it over me. But I don't know. I kind of just saw it coming and it just kind of happened. I just went full scout team quarterback, 2018 Drew Davis. Reached into that part of my life.
It's great. I mean, I found myself watching the game, and I don't have a favorite MLW team. I just watch the game as an outsider, enjoying the atmosphere. But I definitely found myself rooting hard for the Cobras during the series. And when Barron made those last two defensive plays that were awesome, I was like fully like little fist pump action, because I was just so excited. Maybe it's because you guys coming on the show and stuff like that or whatever, but it was just such a good series. How about those defensive plays, Brendan? Talk about those a little bit.
The first one. So earlier in the inning, I had one that went off my hand, I think. Mm-hmm. So they were kind of like hitting it just to the right of me every time. And they had a lot that went out to Andy in the first game and then Sawyer in the third game right to there. So I was kind of like, had that thought of like, if they put the ball in play, it's either going to Sawyer or just to the right of me. So right when he hit that, I was just kind of already falling that way in a perfect spot. And luckily, I got enough of my hand on it to go run over and make the play. And I could hear Drew yelling 3-3-3. And that was the only thing on my mind is beat Kyle to that base. And then the second one, I just knew I had to peg Saylor. And he was running down to first. And he dove a little early, I would say, because I saw him dive. So luckily, I didn't throw the ball over him. So I knew he was going down. So it's kind of easier when you can just toss it towards the ground, knowing his whole body's going to be down there. But I'm just happy I made those plays and got out of that after making that a very interesting end.
How worried were you guys that there was going to be a replay at third base? And if it goes to a replay, you're in trouble.
I wasn't worried just
I didn't think about it.
Kyle kind of knew he was out and walked away right away. He never said safe or anything like that.
You guys got lucky on that one.
You got any more questions for these guys, Trevor?
That's all I got. It was a great series. My favorite series of the season so far. I think probably a lot of people's favorite series so far.
Yeah, it was really good.
It's great when every pitch matters. We've seen a lot of games, usually involving the Magic, where, after the first inning, there's not a lot of intensity or much to worry about after that. So this was cool. Either of you gentlemen have anything final you want to say? I'm gonna preview what we've got coming up down the road. But if you had any final thoughts, now would be the time to share them.
Sure, I will.
Please do.
I think this is the most balanced team we've ever had. So just looking at in terms of like, we have a couple people on our team who are really high energy, really high, like very charismatic. And then you also got like Barron and Sean, who are kind of tamer and kind of keep everything under control. And then we've got good pitching. We've got good fielding this year. Speed on the base paths, which I don't think I think we might even have the 3 of the top 5 fastest people on our team. And then hitting, we've got people who can hit for contact, and then we also have some power in there too. So I think this is like the most balanced team we've ever had. And so we may not be hitting the best that we've ever had. We may not have we are having the best pitching I think that we've ever had, but in terms of balance, this is easily the most balanced we've ever had.
Yeah, and statistically, at least as far as Major League or MLW stats goes with the ladder scoring, you have the best pitcher in the league on your team.
I know, that's why I was like, well, we actually do have the best pitcher. And Sawyer's been good, more than serviceable, very, very good. Just like usually one or two little tiny things that end up getting him, but other than that, yeah, pitching's been incredible.
Brendan, buddy, let's start hitting the ball. You are 6th in the whole league as far as the ladder ranking goes, and you have a big fat 0 for batting. So,
yeah. Well, I guess I'll let Brendan answer that first.
Do
about the hitting.
Yeah, just start hitting. Okay, it's not really a question. Just do it.
Well, next series, I like hitting off crotch. I'll send one off the foul pole or something.
Ooh, I love it.
Oh, we might hear that a few times. We might hear that a few times in the future. This is what we've got coming up. Drew, you're a professional. You led me into the home run derby and all-star game stuff. We've got our next 6 shows already lined up and ready to go. We're doing, Trevor and I are going to do a brief home run derby preview and tie that in with team totals and championship odds for betting purposes, right, Trevor?
We'll update. We'll see how I did after the first half of the season.
Didn't you pick the under on us?
Yeah.
Which was like 7.5.
Yeah. But so I did say the Cobras were the hardest team to predict. They could either have 10 wins or 4 wins. I think we can all agree with that, right?
We're gonna go.
Not my favorite team though.
We're gonna go into pretty good detail on that on the next episode this week. And then next week, we're going to do a preview for the All-Star game and update the awards numbers as far as Cy Young and all those awards. And then for the 4 series for Slate 4, for the Mallards Gators preview, we've got Chadwick and Cheetam coming back, and that's where we're doing our Slate 4 fantasy draft with those 2 D-Gens. For the Magic Wildcats preview, Trevor, you want to tell the people who we talked to for that preview?
We got the King on the show, King Curdy.
Yep, we got King Curdy for that preview. Eagles and D-backs, we spoke with Blade Walker about that. Got to meet that gentleman for the first time. And then your guys' preview, you guys have the Preds. It's a pretty big series. We've got Alec Warda coming on for that show. So those are the next 6 shows. We'll obviously have to sprinkle in some recap episodes, but we like to figure those out after the series are played on our YouTubes.
Mike, I'll give you a little something if you give me a sneak peek of that video before we play our series.
Okay, what are you going to give me?
I don't know. I'll figure it out.
I like this.
Oh, could you let Brendan hit?
Sure. I mean, he's planning on hitting. Yeah, he was going to hit at least one game.
Wow. 1 game, huh?
All right.
Oh, but I was gonna say actually in regards to that, I wanted to say I haven't talked to Brendan about this at all. So I mean, he can talk to me about it afterwards if he has any opinions on it. But I think something that I've liked this year a lot is just focusing on hitting and fielding. Like I haven't had to worry about pitching, especially if like I were to give up a run on the mound. I think I used to feel like if I gave up a run on the mound, I'd have to go hit and be like, I have to make that run up by hitting. Mm-hmm. And then that just created more stress on me. So like now I kind of just have to worry about generating runs and stuff like that. And so I don't know how Brendan feels at all, but I know that for me, that's been really nice for me just to focus on hitting wise and not have to worry about doing it on both sides. So, I mean, I don't know how Brendan feels about that. He might be different and you know, he can separate the two, but I had a hard time doing that.
I feel like you've been in a lot better headspace this year. Like you aren't getting down on yourself. Like if you gave up a run pitching, you would kind of be down for batting the next inning, but now you're coming back and you're just ready to hit. Even if me or Sawyer give up a run, you're like, we're going to get that back, and you're high energy all the time. And it brings up the energy of the whole team too. You know, Andy rides with you. If you have the energy, Andy will have the energy. And you can see our team they come together. And when somebody hits a bomb, we got all 6 of us standing there by home plate, ready to give them high fives. And everybody's contributing this year, whether it's hitting or pitching.
He's not going to be there for the Preds series, which sucks.
Wait, who won't be?
No, Andy.
Who? Andy won't be there. Okay.
Oh.
Good information. So here's the question. We can end on this. Here's the question that everybody wants to know. Will Gus ever get any run? I heard that there's rumors that he hit a bomb at the NWLA tournament. Is that correct? And, you know, I don't know. I texted Norp how they did, and he didn't text me back. So, I mean, like, the thing is like Gus actually isn't like that bad. Like he's pretty good. It's just like when you get to this point in the season, like you can't really afford to start trying to get someone into mid-season form where they're seeing pitches. Like you can't just start hitting someone. And so like especially when you have series that matter early on, you can't afford to do it then either. Like you have to go with people who are proven hitters. And like, to me, like we do have some players on our team that are a little bit better. Like Goss honestly would actually do well on another team, I think, and stuff like that, but no one wants to trade for him. So like I've like trying to shop him around because I think he should play and stuff like that. And I just don't think he has the like opportunity to play on our team because of the depth that we have. But I don't think if we get up and like he'll play in Vermont for sure. But like in terms of like playoffs and stuff like that, probably not, just because like you'll have Andy, who even though like he hasn't done very well this year, like still could go yard at any time. He's given the right pitch. He's fast. Sean, depending on who's hitting Sean or Barron,
you have either Sean as a pinch hitter or Barron as a pinch hitter, and I would trust them more than Gus. So
He'd be the second best player on the Magic if you trade him there.
probably, but they don't want him.
Brutal.
God, you just can't.
They got no draft picks to give me. So
All right. Enough picking on the Magic. All right. That's our recap show. We talked a little bit of gambling. The one thing I forgot to do, Trevor, I have to give you all the credit. Slate 3 is done. You and I, we did a slate long draft. I beat you every week. I think I've gone like 7-1 in the weeklies or 6-1. But in the slate long, your the eighth pick, the final pick of the draft, did better than the first pick in the draft. I took Robles, he got 3. You took Cheetam, he got 55 or something like that. So you beat me out pretty soundly in that. But slate 4 coming up in a couple of weeks with 4 of us drafting. So that's a lot of fun. Drew, you just Chadwick and Cheetam are gambling with us. They got it. They got involved. They're drafting.
oh, give me one. Hey, Barron, you can be completely 100% honest. How do you like playing for the Cobras?
I like it a lot. I've bought into the Cobras versus everybody, and I like it. I like that it's all of us coming together.
Why do you ask that question, Drew?
Because Chadwick and Cheetam both said it's the worst organization to play for, and I think they're honestly just I think Chadwick's definitely jealous because he's on the Magic, and I think Cheetham's still a little hurt that I didn't pick him, and so.
This is why you come to Fade the Mahoney, everybody. This sort of
We have fun on our team.
It's fun to win, right? It's fun to win.
It makes everything better.
All right, that's our recap show, gentlemen. Thanks for joining us again. Hopefully, we'll talk to you down the road. I assume you'll be in the playoffs. It would take something catastrophic for that not to happen, but we'll talk to you down the road. And good gambling, everybody. Thanks, Trevor, Drew, the Red Baron. Take it easy.